Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Steve and you're welcome to my shop. I haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I'd try something that you might enjoy. I don't know. Where do I begin? The other day I noticed I had a problem on my truck. Heard this grinding sound when I stepped on the brakes. Yep, the pads were wore out and I let them get too far. I should have checked them 2 or 3, 4 months ago maybe, but I didn't. So consequently, one of the rotors was starting to get chewed up a little bit. And you know, like $360 later, I got new brakes. I'm getting too old for this sort of work. Those tires and wheels is all I could do to get it back on the truck. But anyway, I decided that I would try to refurbish the old rotors. I put new rotors on, new pads, so that's all done. That's fixed. But the old rotors are sitting here, and I've got this rotor mounted up on the lathe, and I was going to just, you know, take a couple scratch cuts off and clean it up. It wasn't scratched too bad, but when I went to put my the bar, I can't think what, my mind's gone a blank. That's what lung cancer does to you. Okay, and old age, more old age than the cancer, I guess. So anyway, when I put this bar on, I ran out of clearance, and the problem. Let me bring you in closer and show you where the problem really is on this thing. This is an 18-inch lathe, and unfortunately the rotors are damn near that big, but this, where the cross feed comes into play, limits my amount of travel that I can go toward the chuck. So consequently, this limits. I can get almost to where it touches, but then, you know, once it touches, I'm done. And I can extend the compound here all the way, and I'm still short. So I looked around. I couldn't find anything that would substitute for my boring bar. That's what I couldn't think of, boring bar. So I decided it was just going to make it maybe a fun project if I could figure out a way to make this boring bar extend out a little further. And I did. So I'm in the middle of making an extension for my boring bar. Now, I'm bringing you guys in late. I started out, and I'll show you a little bit later what I did to get this piece made. But right now, what I'm trying to do, you see this thing, the way the Aloris tool post works is when you tighten the handle, when you turn this handle right here, there's two little cups or pistons that push in and out, and that's what locks this on. So when you drop that on, you lock that in, you're good to go. Well, the problem is the piece I'm making has to actuate. I want this to actuate and lock everything together. So what I'm doing now is boring a hole in this piece so that I can put a pin in there that will actuate when this does. So come along with me, and if you want, and I'll show you what I'm doing here on the boring. It's just a boring job. All right. Now, this dial is graduated in thousandths, but it seems like whenever I turn this, it never quite hits the mark. So what I've been doing to compensate for that is to use my dial indicator here and get in here. And I set that up there, bring it around so you can watch it here. There you go. And you can see it. And I want to get this at the very high point, right there. And I'm going to set this to 0. So now we're at 0. And I want to move it in a couple of thou. So I'll loosen these 3 set screws that lock it in. And then, see, that's moved 3 thousandths. That's moved 3 thousandths already. So let's just go ahead and we'll take a cut and proceed from there. Here we go. I want to set the quill power feed. And just about to the cutoff point. And we're through. And there we go. And our quill is done. I'll set you back up on top here. Now, in order to check it, you've got to move the table a couple inches to the side here. There we go. That should be enough. No, still not there. Take a couple more thou. All right, we'll line the table up. Now I've got to get this back to 0. I usually like to go past and then bring it back to the 0 point. Come on. There we go. And I'll lock the table in place. And take another 3 thousandths here. Okay, that looks like we're in a good spot. Okay, and 0. Loosen. Take 3 thousandths again. That should be 3. Okay. Let's see where that brings us this time. Ready? Here we go. off. Quill up. And now lock the table. It's over about 2 or 3 inches. Let's see what kind of a fit we got here. Aha, well, we got a fit now. Shit. I knew it was close, but I didn't think it was that close, but okay. So that's ready. Now, what I want to do now is take this piece out and show you what all I did with this piece. So let me just clean up my mess a little bit here. All right. Oh boy, that wasn't too smart. Chips all over my nug. Dial indicator. If you don't have one of these, you'll be getting one of these days. Guarantee. All right, put this over here out of the way. Now what I want to do is I want to take and put this stop on here. So if I decide I want to do something else, which could happen, I'm ready to go. So I can set this back in there now and be pretty dead nuts straight on. But I could turn it around backwards, and so let me put a little mark on it. So I know where we were. Okay. Okay. Now, oh, golly. Guess I was stronger yesterday. All right, so this is the completed part, or semi-completed part. And this is going to so the way this is going to work, let me show you here. Let's go back over to the lathe. See that okay? Where are we at? All right. So the way this is supposed to work is this is going to go there. This fits on here. Okay. Don't tell me one side's tighter than the other. Well, anyway, there it goes. That'll fit on there like so. All right. What I want to show you now is how I made this part. Okay. All right. What I used was a cutter shaped like this. And let's see, high speed 11. Well, it says inch and 7/8 by 60 degrees. So I put it in the collet. There we go. And but this is okay. Yeah, that fits us okay. But this side seems to be a bit on the tight side. So I'm going to bring it in, and we're going to widen this out just a tiny bit. So. All right, let me explain a couple little things here. But I use this hogging tool here to kind of hog it out. Accu-size, high speed, 5/8, 4 flute, 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch by inch and 5/8. So what I did first was I put this in there and took out all of this material in the middle here, because this wasn't going to do that. So then, let's see, we'll have to bring this down. Okay. So about like that till it touched, and then let's lock it in here. I guess we should measure and see if we got one side fatter than the other. There's a good chance it is. Let's see. You guys are in my way. Get this in closer here. Okay. Looks like we're right at 740 on that side. And on this side here, we're at 7.1. So we got quite a bit more material on this side. So what I'm going to do is take off about 10 or 20 thousandths on this side over here, and so that means we've got to go. Now these cutters, as far as I know, they don't like to turn real fast. They generally like a little slower pace. So I'm going to slow it down here. Touched off there, and so I'm going to go in. So we're at 130. So I'll go in 10 down, we'll go up to 140. Nope. 120. There's 10,000s there. So that should do it. Yep. Go ahead and give it a whirl. Yeah, well. Okay, let's try that again. And direction dummy. 140, like I said. There's 140. Now all my parts are cold. And I thought I didn't need lubricant on here. The 10 thousandths is all I'm taking off here. There we go. All right. So let me just clean that off a little bit. Oh, come here, you. So let's just take it out and see what kind of a fit we got here. There we go. That feels good now. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now the next thing we've got to do is cut the bar. I'm going to tighten that up. That tightens up good. And let's see. If I depends on where I put the Right here. Yeah, there's a problem. See if I can show it to you. Get in here. I can shine the light in there. You see the light? Anyway, this comes down too far, so I'm going to have to make this so that it stops at the center, like that. Okay, but we can go ahead and we can cut that bar to the desired length here. So let's figure out what we want that to look like. Oop. Rung the bell. And that's the other thing too, with this pushing out against there.
I make it.
It stands proud. One sticks out more than the other one does. So, what have we got here? And where did I put my, very near. It's very near and dear. Here it is. Let's see what we got here. So we're right at 1479 or 1480 would be pretty good. 1480. Let's see. So kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do is relieve this in here with like a big end mill and just make it, relieve it, you know, a 1/4 inch maybe, and that way when that pin comes out it won't hit on anything in here. But yet it will push the pin, no matter if it's in the center or not, out of the way. So let's see how big of a cutter do I have here. Now I showed you how I use this to make this. Sorry I didn't take any video, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Now I gotta take this out and put in a drill chuck. Let's see here. Ow. Ow. Okay. There's a thick side. We had that side over here. Come on. Dumb thing. There she goes. Okay, looks good there. Now the y-axis, I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put my hole. So I'm going to come in. That little hole wasn't very deep. Let's see what, before we go too far. Okay, it just so happens to be 3/8 24. So that requires a 5/16. That bit doesn't like it. Walking it. Nice. Needs a little tune-up.
I don't want to see if this any sharper.
Now, I just had a brain fart. So I think I'm going to drill a smaller hole the rest of the way through, and then I can put like a set screw in there with like a nylon to hold the slide part in place. See where that leads. Okay, what I've decided to do here, since my pin is a little loose, and I don't want it falling out and getting lost. I'm going to drill a second hole. This is a number 7 for a 1/4 20 tap, and then I'm going to take this little set screw here. It already has a little tit on the end of it. Screw that down in there. We'll put a groove in the rod, and Jake's your uncle. Okay? So now we just need to tap our hole here. Already got that drilled. Okay. And number 7 is in there. And now I just need a 1/4 20 tap. And 1/4 20. Here we go.
Yeah, we're still recording. Okay. Well, I hope I didn't just fuck everything up. Oh boy. Let's see. And you just spun in the chuck. Yeah. A little more lubricant. There we go. That one home.
All right. That one's done. Now we need a 3/8 20. 1/4 20. 3/8. Where are you at? 3/8 24. This 3/8 24 is what it is. Page 24. What's that take? It's the same one. I think I might have got the wrong. Takes a Q. Takes a Q. Letter Q. I was thinking 3/8 16, but it's not 3/8 16. It's 24. And there's a Q. That's nice. That's very nice. What the heck's going on there? Damn it. Looks nice and sharp. Put a little extra tightness on it. Let's see if I got a tightener. And then this will fit on there like so. So now I got I'm straight in. Before I was on an angle. Okay. But what I've got to do now is I've got to make the round part to fit in here to work on this thing. So when this pushes out, it pushes against this and locks everything together in one sweet operation. So that's how that's supposed to work. It looks like I've got just a little too tight clearance on this one here. Okay. This is the caveat or the end of the video, and I just wanted to recap kind of what I was going after here at the beginning. I wanted to resurface these rotors because 3 out of the 4 sides of the rotors were serviceable. They had no gouging, or the brake pads hadn't eaten all the way to the end. So I thought I could repair these on the lathe, and consequently when I tried, I had interference with a couple of things. Let me show you. Okay, when I bring the carriage in, at some point here, get some of this out of the way, you can see. Okay, what I was trying to refer to was the apron. This piece here moves back and forth, and the cross feed here, and the compound feed is here. So when I move the apron over as far as it'll go, I run into a little problem with the rotor interfering. So as a workaround, I tried to use my Aloris boring bar here. And as you can see, when I put the boring bar on, I can't get it. It won't let me get to the back side of the rotor because this is interfering. So my workaround was to, make an adapter. For the Aloris tool post holder. And as I described earlier in the video, that this was a piece we made, and it has a little pin that I put in here so that when you lock the tool post holder, everything locks together. So when you put this piece on and then add this piece on here, all right, now it won't go down because I've got this all the way in. Okay. So now that, when this is turned, it's all lock solid now. So we're ready to machine the back side of the rotor. The front side was no problem because a standard cutter, tool post cutter will do the front side. It was the back side that was giving me all the problems. So this was the workaround. Will allow me to do other jobs as well. Anything that I need to get that's too big to fit in there, I can get back here. Now, had this been a smaller rotor, I believe 8 inches is what it'll clear. Total 8 inches. This thing is like 18 inches or so. But how big is this rotor? Let's just see here. Get this out of the road here. Back this up a little bit. Let's just see how big this rotor actually is here. 14 inches. So, and roughly, just a rough measurement here on the clearance of this thing here. Let me get around the other side. Let me move you over. All right. So it's somewhere between 6 and 7 inches to clear. Let's see here. It's hanging down 1 inch, so about 6 inches is all that will clear the carriage here. So this will give me quite a bit more latitude. So I looked in the catalog, Aloris's catalog, but I didn't see anything like this in their catalog. So apparently it's not being made by them. But like I said a while ago, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I didn't get the machining of the actual part here. But it's pretty straightforward. All you need to make this part is the cutter. Here it is. Okay. It's probably a fairly expensive one. I think I picked this one up used at a place in actually in Millstadt, I believe, is where industrial supply, I believe, is the name of it. This is 60 degree. Let's say here. 60 degrees, yeah, 60 degree inch. I can't read it. Anyway, approximately 1 3/4 inches across and 60 degrees, and it's on a 7/8. It's a 7/8 shaft on it. So with this tool here, all you need is, and I used a, just a roughing mill to hog out the basic guts of it, and then use this to finish it off and put in the final shape on each end here. So both ends are the same, like that. And I just used a piece of stock I had sitting on the shelf and cut it off to length, and then machined it out. So it wasn't in any particular size. I just found something that I thought was adequate. This dimension from the front to the back was just simply determined by the thickness of the part that I chose. It was nothing specific as far as the dimensions of this part, but I just felt this was going to give me enough. I knew I didn't need much, that anything moving the cutter in was going to probably be enough. So close, I could almost do it without this part. But having this part in there allowed me to turn the boring bar perpendicular or parallel with the rotor. So when the boring bar was in position, it was going in at a horizontal position. Or parallel. It was running parallel with the rotor. Get my head on straight this morning. Anyway, again, thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, they all say. And we're going to see you on the next one. All right. Bye-bye for now.